one of the most dramatic, well-publicized, and tragic events we have witnessed in a long time has now erupted from what began as simply another uncensored wild Chrisean music livestream. What started off as mere drama has turned into a serious custody dispute with practical repercussions. Beyond trivial internet feuds, the discussion has expanded to include child welfare investigations, emotional breakdowns, family betrayals, celebrity interventions, court filings, and deeply personal matters. Does Chrisean have the necessary skills to parent her child? Is this a case of media pressure and postpartum breakdown? Or are we seeing something much more dangerous happen right in front of our eyes? Live streaming was the beginning of it all. They were initially merely noisy and untidy, the standard Chrisean fare that fans had grown accustomed to. However, the mood changed when her baby, who was lovingly called Junior, began to show up, in the background wailing by himself and without movement. People began to wonder if they were no longer merely watching a show. Perhaps what they were seeing wasn't meant to be aired to the entire world. Then the moment that made all the difference arrived. Some viewers dismissed Chrisean's actions, claiming she was simply attempting to maintain her normalcy while observing what appeared to be a turned-over baby bottle. A wailing newborn left unattended, and her smiling, dancing, or arguing with individuals off camera. However, some people began specifically tagging CPS in her comments. Women who remarked, "I didn't want to be the one to report it, but I couldn't sleep after watching," were not trolls or haters that are alive. Suddenly, the focus shifted from our thoughts about Chrisean Rock to what we really witnessed. Parenting TikTok quickly became popular. They were focusing on bottle hygiene, the mess in the surroundings, and even Junior's cry, which some people said sounded strained, high-pitched, and uncontrollable. Pediatric nurses immediately came in to explain the possible meaning of that. Alongside Chrisean's livestream, one influencer shared best practices for caring for newborns. "This baby needs help," said the description of a 90-second video that another mama influencer shared. The mother is no longer the focus of this. This concerns the youngster. At that point, calls to CPS began to increase. A 12-minute documentary-style video was created by a YouTuber titled "Is Chrisean Rock Unfit to Be a Mother?" In 2 days, it received 4 million views. Heartbreak and anger were mixed together in the remarks. Action was being demanded. Chrisean initially dismissed it with a laugh. She went live once more, alleging that the reason was hatred, jealousy, and a lack of comprehension of her path. She said, "Y'all are not taking my baby," with a fierce tone. "Y'all don't know what I do in real life." Even her admirers, however, were aware of the change. She was more than simply noisy. She was nearly paranoid and protective. After that, she disappeared for 3 days. Just silence, no updates on babies, no life, no posts. It was at that point that the whistleblower emerged. According to a voice-modulated podcast participant who identified herself as a friend of Chrisean in her postpartum social group, Chrisean missed several pediatric checkups, didn't have a reliable nanny, and once declared, "I'm not trying to be a regular mom, I am a celebrity." That audio was like a hammer to the internet. It wasn't only disorganized, it was horrible. The pictures followed. A blurry photo showed a CPS van parked outside what appeared to be Chrisean's home in Los Angeles. Before someone else matched the plants, the gate, and the driveway that were all visible in her previous live streams. People first referred to it as clickbait and phony. Then the image became clearer. A business-dressed woman approaches the gate with a clipboard. It was the same as her house. The rumors had ceased to be rumors. They were authentic. Officially, CPS had been there. In a tearful live broadcast, Chrisean broke her silence. "Yes," she responded, sitting on the floor with Junior in her lap. "CPS came. They examined my texts, my cot, and my refrigerator. I was doing my best," they stated as they went. "What comes next? Do you want blood?" However, the internet was far from finished. A purported audio recording from a CPS caseworker was made public by a blogger going by the handle Hollywood 420. It wasn't good. The voice asserted that they were keeping an eye on the situation and that there were several reports and photographic proof that the living circumstances weren't perfect. The social media landscape changed. Even supporters of Chrisean began to doubt their position. Trending hashtags included "Where is the dad?" and "Protect Jr." Then, at the worst possible moment, Blueface entered the fray. "Told y'all I tried to save my son," he tweeted. "I didn't call CPS, but if they're taking notes, they're not wrong. They said, live." Blurred screenshots he supplied seemed to show Chrisean requesting him to watch her while she went out. "I'll see my son when he's old enough to find me," were his parting words last time. It was so chilly that it broke people. The tweet from a parent read that, "Baby doesn't have either of y'all." Next up was Chrisean Jr, Blueface's mother, who shared a mysterious Instagram story with a Bible and a baby bottle, along with the words, "I told y'all, God don't play." She was suspected of being one of the reporters. She was accused by others of attempting to seize custody. All of a sudden, this was more than just Chrisean. It was a storm of generations. Immaturity, ego, toxicity, and trauma all colliding in one small life that didn't deserve it. For a time, however, there was hope. Postpartum depression is real, according to Megan Thee Stallion's tweet, and it is a spectacle for Black women to even cry. Megan had offered Chrisean a therapist, according to a TMZ source. In response, Cardi B said, "People are so quick to judge but don't send support." Chrisean was even defended in a comment by Rihanna's former makeup artist. However, the grace was short-lived as a leaked court file surfaced just as sympathy was starting to grow once more. Temporary evaluation of custody requested, it purportedly stated. The mother is being examined. Chrisean then went live once more, but this time it wasn't sincere. It was bitter and angry. And viewers noticed a bottle of booze lying close to the crib when she unintentionally panned her camera. In less than 5 minutes, that video went viral. It was devastating. The last twist then appeared. Tessie, her own sister, broke down in tears. "I tried," she said, that Chrisean turned down her assistance. Fade that she was no longer able to combat. Her ego, that despite her love for her nephew, she had to leave. The internet fell apart. What hope was there if even her own sister had given up? Zeus Network then issued an ambiguous statement stating that they were examining the demonstrate and provide assistance. According to some insiders, her show may be completely canceled. Others stated they wanted to offer her a new parenting and redemption series, but only if she straightened out. Then the last blow. One sentence was posted by Blueface's legal team. A custody petition was submitted. Let's approach this properly. This entails supervised visitation, drug testing, home visits, and sometimes even a full custody hearing. Additionally, avoid going live while intoxicated if Chrisean doesn't get her act together, and tidy up her Stop your ego trip. She might actually lose that child. The internet is currently at war. Group Chrisean, those who think she's just a suffering mother in need of support and understanding. Postpartum depression is real, because attacks on the internet happen too quickly. Take that baby team. Those who think she's been unsuitable from the start, that this is neglect, not postpartum. Junior is worthy of better. That without stability, love is insufficient. And a child caught in the midst of it all. One boy born into a whirlwind of chaos, violence, fame, and addiction. A newborn who didn't beg for live streaming, following, or stardom. An infant who only requires safety, structure, and affection. Who will give it to him is the question. We have no idea how this will turn out. Chrisean might be able to get it together. Perhaps the courts will intervene. Perhaps Blueface will take the lead. He might not. However, one thing is evident. This is no longer amusing. This is the actual world. The stakes have never been higher. Because it may not be a live stream when the next chapter takes place. It could take place in a courtroom, or worse, remain locked in. The narrative continues.